Hey everyone, and welcome to a new style vlog series from Rock for a Q. Firstly, I would like to apologise for my special guest on the channel. Today I'm parrot sitting, so unfortunately she's going to scream, she's going to chat, but hopefully she won't be too much of a distraction. Anyway, in these videos I'm going to share with you the ups and downs and flukes and frustrations as I navigate my way through a social snooker league which is happening right now at my snooker club. So stay tuned to this first episode where I tell you about the league itself, how you can follow along with the scores, and also take you through my week 1 games. Hi everyone, my name's Ad, and I'm a YouTube content creator known as Rock for a Q. Just in case you or I forget later, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future episodes of my amateur snooker league journey. And like the video if you like what you've seen so far. Also, while you're there, why not go ahead and put the bell on so you get notified of any new videos I upload, including new episodes of this series. After several months of solo practice and the odd match with my postman and my next door neighbour, not the same person, I was invited to join a club within my club of social, like-minded players who play on a regular basis and even form little leagues and cup competitions. This mini club has become known as the Good Afternoon Club, or GA Snooker Club. We have a handicap system which kind of works the opposite of golf, in that a beginner player will start on 0, and the better you get, the higher handicap becomes. And whenever you play somebody, you give your opposition that handicap as a starting point. And if they have a handicap too, you get theirs, and basically you can decide to split the difference. So, for example, a player with 21 handicap playing somebody with a 7 handicap would give the player with a 7 handicap a 14 head start. The vast majority of players, including myself, are on a handicap of 14. There's a couple of people on 21, some a little bit higher than that. As I say, the best player in the league is on 42. So we started a winter league. The rules are fairly simple. Each player plays each other once. So there's 18 of us, so that's 17 matches. The deadline for getting all matches done is at the end of April. We don't have a fixed weekly schedule. Matches are arranged via a WhatsApp group as and when you have availability. All matches are over 2 frames, and you basically get a point for every frame you win. So a maximum of 2 points for each match. And we hope that that system will mean that by the end of the season, the league table is fairly close. I'm personally responsible for tracking the scores and updating the league table, so to make that as easy as possible, I've built a website to do just that. This also means that you can follow along at home by visiting gasnooker.org.uk. That's gasnooker, all one word, .org.uk. But don't go there just yet, because that will spoil the results of the matches I'm going to show in this video. So my first match of the season and the week was against Anne, our only female player. And unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of this match. But Anne plays off 0, and I play off 14, so it meant that every frame she had a 14 head start. I think we both played pretty well in this match. In the first frame, I was lucky enough to get a lead by the time we got to the colours. And I think Anne ended up conceding either on or after I potted the blue. But so yeah, it was a fairly comfortable frame, but still, you know, Anne played some good shots, and you know, she got some good safety. The second frame was a bit tighter, and I was actually still behind by the time we got to the colours. But in playing some safety shots, I managed to put Anne in some pretty nasty snookers. To be honest, I think only one of which I actually played for the exact snooker that I got. The resulting foul points made that I scraped into the lead, but it came down to the pink ball. And I was lucky enough that I managed to pot the pink ball. Sorry I couldn't show you any of that match, but yeah, as I say, I didn't film any of it. My second match of the week was against Sai, my neighbour. You may have seen a previous match with him on the channel. And Sai is a bit of my snooker nemesis. So I've played him a few times, including since that match that was on the channel, and he's probably got the better of me more times than me of him. So I was fairly keen to beat him in the league. Sai joined the league after me, and his handicap was left up to me to decide. And given that we have had like 3 or 4 friendlies, and if anything, Sai's maybe 1 or 2 frames ahead, I decided that he should have a handicap the same as me, which is 14. Frame 1 started out with side breaking, and he played an excellent break, which left me tucked under the baulk cushion with a difficult situation ahead of me. Consequently, Sai got the upper hand in the safety exchange that followed the break, and he got the first chance and managed to cut in this nice red. But because he was playing with safety in mind, he didn't really have an easy shot on the colour and ended up missing the pot on the colour. A missed mid-range red from Sai gave me my first clear-cut chance of the frame, which I managed to make a break of just 8 off it. The next chance fell to Sai. He made a nice little 9 break, but really should have been more, as he missed the black off the spot to make it quite a sizable break. Another 8 break for me. I managed to cut this red in, again playing with safety in mind. But luckily the black was perched over the pocket edge at this point, so I was able to get the black in. A nice little 9 break from me was next, but again, similar to Sai's little break, I should have been more, but again, I missed the black off the spot, which is kind of unforgivable, really. A couple of breaks were next for Sai. He got a 6 and then an 8, and there was a couple of really nice shots in that 8 break. Sai created the next chance after I played a fairly mediocre snooker, pushing the red past the pink and trying to hide behind the pink. But unfortunately, I didn't push the red far enough, so I kind of left it not over the pocket, but certainly in a potable position. Sai was able to swerve around the pink and get the red in, and then fold it up with a blue. We shared the next couple of reds, not really making any progress or colours. But then Sai managed to put me in this snooker. I was a dozen or so points behind, so the snookers were definitely not required or anything. I think it was an intentional snooker. It was kind of one where he tried to play the pot, but played it slow enough that if the pot missed, he would cover the ball with the snooker. So I played the escape and completely missed first time round, and was about to turn around and put the foul points on the scoreboard, just for Sai to say, "Hang on a minute, it's going to hit." And not so long and behold, the cue ball came back and hit the brown, and I managed to get away with that one. Anyway, a bit later on in the frame, I was still behind, and I basically needed a brown to black clearance to win the frame. Started off well. I managed to pot this brown, and eventually Sai left the blue over the pocket after a safety exchange, and I managed to get that down too. Then came this pink shot, and Sai had left it close to the pocket, but it was tucked under the cushion, and it wasn't as easy as it perhaps looks on the screen. But I missed it, didn't I? And had I got it, the position on the black was, well, it wasn't an easy shot, but at least I would have had a shot to win the frame, or at the very least to play a safety shot to give me the upper hand in a resulting black ball battle. But unfortunately it didn't go in, and I ended up sticking it up to Simon, who was able to pot it and clinch the first frame. Frame 2, however, was a different story. Sai's long potting really came to life, and nowhere was really safe for me on the table. Even when I thought I'd got the cue ball relatively safe, he managed to knock in a long red, and even though he was playing as a shot to nothing and ended up not on the next colour, he was usually behind the baulk line, so it was an easy roll up behind, not easy, but a roll up behind the bot colour, leaving me in a really difficult situation and basically handing the next chance again. One such long pot, however, did lead to the highest break of the match, which was a 16 break from Sai. Some pretty nice pots in here. Again, it should have been higher, but for a missed black off the spot. A potting mistake from me next, and followed by some pretty bad luck, I guess, from some nudges, left Sai with this easy starter, which he managed to convert to a 14 break.
Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
But that was pretty much frame over. I was sort of 20 odd points behind at this point. And although I did pull it back a little bit, including this nice little red-blue combo, but then playing the next shot, I managed to go in off, which was not pleasant. I played on for a little while because I did only need 2 snookers, I think, at this point, and I did manage to get Sai into 1 or 2, but he was managed. They weren't particularly difficult ones to escape from, and he managed to escape from both of them. But then I found myself at 1 of my own, and this happened, trying to escape from it. So I conceded defeat after that. So I had a bad run of the balls. I missed a couple of clear-cut chances which I haven't shown, so I'm not going to complain too much. Sai's long potting was about the best I've seen from him, so I need to work on my safety. Getting behind the balk line is just not enough, really, and I need to be getting tucked right under the balk cushion, or at least behind the balk colour. Match 3 of the week was against my friend Wayne and my postman. Now, Wayne is the guy who got me back into snooker in the first place, who, he mentioned that he'd started playing snooker when he was delivering my post. And I offered him a game, and that's how I basically started playing snooker again. What are you doing? Wayne has a handicap of 7, so that means that I had to give Wayne a 7 head start. Wayne is camera shy, and it took some persuading for him to let me film the match, and it was on the condition that I didn't show any of his shots. So it's going to be... Sorry. It's going to be quite difficult for me to tell the story of this frame or these matches without showing any of his shots, but I'll give it my best shot. Frame 1 was really good for me, but Wayne really struggled to get going. I played some really good pots, so made some nice mini breaks, and Wayne really didn't get much of a chance, if I'm honest. I did have a little bit of good fortune, but I don't think it would have affected the outcome. It started with this chance, and where I was feeling confident, I played my first ever attempt to split the pack after a pot on the black. The split went pretty well, but unfortunately I missed the black. But I got this chance a couple of shots later, which I managed to convert into a nice 3-ball 7 break. I played this red really confidently, perhaps a little too confidently because I was playing for the blue into the middle, but I ran past it. But thankfully the black was there and I was able to get the black into the middle in the opposite middle. Another 3-ball mini break. Showing this one because I'm pretty pleased with how my cueing off the cushion is coming along, something that my coach and I have been working on. So yeah, pretty happy with that. And then it was followed up by this tricky middle pocket pot. A double on the blue here after I played this red. Wayne needed snookers at this point, so I felt this shot was worth going for, and it paid off. But I did manage to lay a snooker of my own, which unfortunately Wayne was not able to escape from. After a further safety exchange, I did manage to get a chance on the last red, which I followed up with the pink and then the yellow. At this point, Wayne needed numerous snookers, 4 or 5, I think, maybe even more. But he wanted to play on because he wanted practice of getting people in snookers, which is fair enough. And I could do with the practice of getting out of snookers, so we played on for a little bit. So eventually he managed to lay one. But it wasn't long before I got a chance on the blue and managed to sink it, and Wayne conceded at that point. Frame 2 was a different story and is going to be difficult for me to convey because Wayne played a much bigger part in the frame. He played some pretty decent pots, which I'm not able to show because I don't have his permission, but maybe at some time when he's feeling a bit more confident, he might let me do another version of this video which shows some of his play. I was pretty happy with my long potting in this match. Those long red routines start paying off, and I managed to get a red and a colour here, and I almost followed up with another long red, which almost turned into a pretty outrageous fluke. But it wasn't all plain sailing. This shot to nothing was turned into a shot to pain and relinquished further points to Wayne's lead. I was potting some fairly nice reds, but getting on colours was proving to be elusive, so I was struggling to get the points back. I also have a bit of a blind spot for these shots and probably should stop playing them or maybe practice them. And yeah, I was basically just giving away too many foul points and not enough colours off reds. So yeah, I was struggling to eke back my lead, eke back Wayne's lead. By the time we got to the last red, I was still behind, maybe about 10 or 12 points, and Wayne had made some pretty good pots of his own, so I really couldn't be complacent with leaving too many chances. So I started maybe upping my game a little bit in the safety department. But as did Wayne, and he left me in this pretty difficult snooker. I also didn't do myself any favours with pots like this leaving me snookered on the next ball. Need to concentrate more on stuff like this. By the time we got to the brown, I basically needed 3 of the last 4 balls to win without snookers, but eventually did get a chance on the brown. And I did eventually get this easy pot on the blue after a valiant pot attempt by Wayne. Left the blue in the jaws of the pocket, which meant I could easily sink it. Wayne did find a pot on the pink, which obviously I'm not able to show you, but it left him with a chance on the black. It was a tricky little pot. He played it fully committed, and unfortunately it was a similar story to the blue. It wobbled in the jaws and didn't drop in, which meant that I had this very easy black ball pot to win the frame. So a win for me, but it didn't feel as good as it probably should have done because Wayne played really well, especially in that second frame, and he has actually just had his handicap raised from 0 to 7, and it's the first time we have played with that handicap. So normally I would give him a 14-point lead, but with only a 7-point lead, he managed to take me to the black, which is pretty good going, and he should be pretty pleased with himself. He's definitely improving, and I suspect by the end of this league, we'll probably, if not be on the same handicap, then his handicap at least will be raised. Hopefully mine will be too. So 2 wins and 1 loss for me puts me 4th on the league table, but because there's no fixed schedule, it's always going to be those who have played the most matches who are going to be towards the top of the league. And there's actually quite a few players who haven't played matches yet. We've got a few Chinese players in the league, and most of them are essentially celebrating Chinese New Year, either in China themselves or at home, and haven't played many matches yet. So I suspect once those two or three guys are back in the country and getting their matches under their belt, I imagine they'll be close to the top of the league too. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching. I really do hope you like this style of video. It was something that I was looking forward to on my YouTube playlist, but couldn't really find other than the odd one or two. So if you do like it, please put the thumb up. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you in the next Rope for a Q video.